sarang burung tempur. Salam sembah pembuka bicara, selamat datang untuk semua. Before we begin, I would like to have some doa recital for us to have a berkat in our today's session. For Muslim, we can hands up your hand, and also for non-Muslim, you can bertafakur mengikut your religion lah. So we start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Allah, Ya Rahim. Praise be to God, the Lord of the world. Peace and blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad SAW and his companions, and for those who follow his example until the judgment day. Allahumma Ya Allah, on this blessing morning in conjunction with the knowledge sharing TNB, CIRED and ACEM, we wish thee and grateful toward you in favor of all the infinite blessing to us, your humble servant, to live in safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessing for a flawless progress of this event from the beginning till the end. We seek your guidance to steer clear of events that would determine the progress of this event. Ya Latif, please bless us with your taufiq and hidayat. Please guide our Tenaga Nasional, CIRED and also ACEM to the greatness, peace, glory and prosperity in this world and hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual, granted us with the valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your maratillah. Make us your righteous servant that follow your commands and neglect the sinful act. Please forgive us on our wrongdoing. Bestow Ya Munzilal Barakat. Bestow peace to our beloved country Malaysia. Preserve us from any threat and disaster, neither man-made or natural disaster. And to you, Allah, we seek for security, prosperity upon us, our leaders and our country. Bestow passion in us in order to face the challenge from you. Please accept us, our deeds, and please reward us accordingly. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wasallam walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. So before I start, for everyone who belum lagi mark your attendance, please do so using this attendance form. You can click the link that I attached in the chat box, or you can scan the QR code. Okay, if you do, all right. With our speaker today, we have IRTS Komal Dikko, our principal engineer from Grid Modernization, Asset Management Department, Distribution Network Division, who is experienced in TNB in 14 years, where she started as a senior engineer, asset maintenance, and then now she is a principal engineer for Grid Modernization, and she have a deep knowledge in the engineering part in terms of switchgear and transformer. And for professional qualification, she is a professional engineer, BEM, member of IEM, also an authorized person for 33 kV, and infrared thermography tester for level 1, and also a professional technologist in the MBOT, and she also has a certified Internet of Things specialist by MIMOS. She in terms of education, she is graduate from Uniten and also a Master of Business Administration in Okay, so before we begin, I would like to have some, I would say, icebreaker with all the participants. You can join with me in the Slido. Okay, you can scan the QR code. Okay, all the participants, can you scan the code? Okay, still 0 participant. All you guys there? All right, how are you today? How are you guys? Hopefully all in the good and in the healthy condition. Okay, great. Only one? Not feeling very well. Oh, not feeling very well. I hope after this you can go to clinic to get some treatment. Oh, fresh. Great. Good. Excellent. Hungry. Oh man, you can order Grab lah after this. You can ask our speaker to have to order for you. Very good. Exciting. All right. Wonderful. Great sunshine. Yep. We have a very matahari yang cantik lah pagi ni lah kan. I'm good. Can wait for Friday. Oh man, today is Thursday. Energetic. Great. Alhamdulillah. Stay safe from COVID. Yep. Good. All right. Great. Awesome. Okay, next. Are you a CIRED member? Are you guys a CIRED member? Hopefully this gonna be 100% yes. Oh no. Okay. School. Oh, right. So after this, we're gonna have some promo on the CIRED member and hope on all these 93% of non-CIRED member gonna join us as a CIRED member because it will give you more benefit if you join the CIRED member. Okay. Are you aware of existence of CIRED Malaysia? All right. So majority of us know lah the existence of CIRED member, but not joined yet the CIRED. So please do so after this. Okay. Okay. So I would like to know which industry are you attached with? Must be from others, right? Oh, okay. Maknanya hari ni bukan hanya TNB staff talent saja yang bersama dengan kita. Alhamdulillah. Sebab ada juga daripada participant daripada luar. Alright. Oh, from academic pun ada juga, must be our professor or lecturer juga. Okay, great. Next. Okay. Where do you get this webinar information actually? Is it from email or kawan-kawan ajak or from CIRED our website? Okay. Majority we get this webinar information from email. Great. Okay. So, in one word, what do you expect from this webinar session? Do you want to know more on the energy transition or semi or okay, learning, informative, okay? So hopefully our speaker gonna give more info regarding this energy transition, new knowledge, tech, fun. Wow. Okay, our speaker make sure you gonna have the fun presentation, not the boring one. All right. Technical sharing, TNB sharing in energy, great. Gain more knowledge. Yup, up to date with current information, correct. Nowadays kita dah I would say we are going to the new era yang mana energy transition is the hot topic lah buat masa untuk masa sekarang. Alright, great. Okay, thank you guys. There's some ice breaking lah yang kita buat pada hari ini. So for again agenda for of the day. So today we're gonna have a presentation by Miss Komal. We gonna break into two part, which is presentation part one. Part one akan berlangsung selama 30 minit. Then kita akan ada break 5 minit for us to grab some coffee ataupun kuih-kuih. Then kita akan continue dengan presentation part 2. After that, it's gonna akan ada Q&A session. We're gonna have Q&A session where all the question yang tuan-tuan dan puan-puan nak cakap boleh bertanyakan di halaman Q&A. Kalau tak jumpa Q&A punya part tu, boleh tanya dekat chat box lah. Alright, then kita akan jawab sedikit post survey, and also we're gonna have some quizzes yang mana kalau kita punya speaker berbaik hati, kita akan ada sedikit token lah yang akan sponsor sendiri oleh kita punya speaker, and kita akan endkan kita punya session ni pada jam 10.30 pagi. Alright, some housekeeping rules. The participant will be mute when presenter ataupun moderator sedang bercakap. All questions shall be asked using Q&A tools to moderator kalau ada. Pay attention at all time as there will be a reward ataupun token of appreciation to the winner of our quizzes. Soalan je, jangan risau, senang je. Kalau tuan-tuan dan puan-puan pay attention, then you can menang lah dia punya quiz tu. Then kindly take a time to provide feedback and suggestion for improvement by the end of the session. And last but not least, focus and enjoy the session, okay? So, tanpa saya berlengah masa, without further ado, I would like to call our speaker, IR Komal, untuk mulakan presentation beliau pada hari ini. So, over to you, Ms. Komal.
Thanks, Adi. So, am I audible, Adi?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. All right. Good morning, everybody. I think that this is quite very morning for me. I'm not the morning person, but never mind. Let's go through this journey. But yeah, I like the word that was used, the words that we used just now, the learning, because this is something that is coming new to us. Even we ourselves are still learning, and I think energy transition is a journey, and it's keep evolving. It is not something that is constant today, and in the future also it will be the same thing. So it's not that way lah, right? So okay, I hope everybody is safe and happy today. So thank you, Adi, for a great introduction. I'm Komal. I'm from the asset management, and being a part of this energy transition journey in distribution network has been something that is fun for us to learn, I would say. So, okay, looking at the slides, we have actually 3 parts for you all. The first one is how we are shaping the energy transition in distribution network. And then after that, we will move into the second part of it, which is the updates that we have carried out in our frameworks. And then how the strategy is then being translated into demonstrators, or I would say pilots, right? So moving to the next slide, Adi. So I'm going to say thanks to Adi for taking care of my slides here. All right. So then moving to the second slide, here in this first part, we are actually looking at the aspiration and the targets. So we will be dwelling down on how we have taken our approach as well, and how we do the design principles, and how we lay down the objectives. Because like what I said just now, this is something that is not consistent. It's a journey. So that's why we need to lay down some design principles and some roadmap, so that we can actually carry this out from the foundational itself until we mature into this energy transition journey. Okay, so this project actually Smart Energy Management Infrastructure. This project was initiated in 2019, and yes, it's a long way that we have came along until today. Getting the approvals, getting the buy-ins, and yes, this is where we are until today lah. And it's still ongoing. Yeah, this project is still ongoing. Right. So then to the next slide, Adi. Okay, so we know from this slide, we know that in line with the economic development that we have in Malaysia, TNB has evolved to keep the pace with the customer needs and also the evolving energy landscape. So focusing from the first step itself, which is the focus of electrifying and keeping the lights on. So then until we moved to the next focus, which is we excelled in our increasing of the efficiency, the reliability, the sustainability, by improving our SID. That was our very much focus in the second step. And we, as of now, we have become the one of the reliable system or utility with a reliable system among the Asian countries. So that's where we are today. And from today, we have gone into the journey of step 3 as well, where we are giving, we want to give more a choice of energy. That's our focus, giving the choice of energy to the customers and the nation, and then giving, making sure that the green energy integration happens seamlessly. And then yes, continue improving our efficiency and reliability with the integrations of these various DRs that are coming into the network. So here we are actually supporting the agenda of 31% green energy penetration by 2025. And we also support on the reduction of CO2 emission. And while that, we are focusing into our infrastructure readiness as well, so that we can actually support the smart cities and also smart grid realization. So here, how another point that we have is actually on the smart grid index, where we target on looking into achieving 85% or top 20 by 2025. So these are the key targets that we are looking at, but then how we are going to do this is actually where we have this Smart Utility Master Plan 2025. These are the ones that focuses on 3 core values. If you can see on the most most right-hand side, we have the winning the customers. That is the focus that we have laid, and then we have the grid of the future and also the economic development. So these are the key core values that we have, and also the sub-values we can see laid here. Right. So putting this as part of the aspiration, we are looking at the next step, the next slide. Adi. Yes. Sorry, my. So yeah, my laptop is not being friendly today morning. Just give me a second. So okay, I'm still in. All right.
Okay. Continue, Kamal. Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay lah begini. Right. Carry on.
Sorry for the inconvenience. All right. So then, moving to the next slide here, we have DN that is actually focusing on building the master plan itself. So this is where we see the SU25 master plan. So DN is to build the 3 DN strategic roles of being the operator of networks, and also the additional role of being the facilitator of energy transition and the enabler of the customer empowerment. So these are the 3 key strategic roles that we have that SEMI is also enabling. And then with this enablement of these 3 DN strategic roles, SU25, which is the Smart Utility 25 Master Plan, is built being the driver to promote these 20 key experiences that you can see on these slides. these are the 20 key experiences that are laid in 5 different domains, which is the asset management, the work management, grid operations, energy management, and customer management. So these are the 5 domains which we want, with these experiences, we want to achieve the target state capabilities. If you can see at the topmost of the right-hand side of the slide. So looking at that, having said, you can see it's highlighted there that SEMI focuses on 2 domains, which is the energy and the customer management domain. So these key experiences are the ones that we want to achieve and towards the target aspiration of energy efficiency and also empowering the customer capabilities. So looking at that, how do we measure this? I mean, what is the measurement to make sure that we achieve this? The key experience here, they are positioned to build from the foundations itself. Means at the beginning, we start with building the foundations. Moving towards 2025, we wanted to achieve the maturity rating of 4.08 and also the smart grid index that was mentioned earlier, the 85%. So we have laid our what I will say is our measurement in this context, right? So next one, Adi. Yep. Next slide, Adi.
This one, ET equation.
Yes, I'm not sure why my web is not changing, but it's okay. Let me just continue.
Okay.
All right. So how do we start? You know, because energy transition is a journey. So how do we start? Having this as something that is new, something that is far future. How do we want to actually pull that back? Pick up all those uncertainties and so many things that may differ as time goes. So how do we set up our approach to actually start the journey? That has been the question that is always there for most of the companies that want to move into this. So then what we did was we started into with the 3E energy transition equation. So here, if you see the first E, which is the Excel. So here kita we lay upon the current distribution system operations, how we see how we are doing it, and then where we can actually improve. We bring in the best in our core business. That's the thing, and then this is where the transformation happens on the concept of being less copper and more digital. This is where the digitalization comes in, but we still anchor on our Smart Utility Master Plan 2025. So this is where we look into our internals, how we improve, and how we bring in better efficiency in the first E, which is Excel. And then comes pula the second Excel, which is the second E, which is the extend. So in this extend, where we look into how we can actually extend and support the national agenda ataupun the market ecosystem itself that is happening in Malaysia. So how we bring in TNB aspirations, we change within the industry, how we manage the coming RE efficiently. So all these things are the forces that are coming in, and how we bring in the role of energy integrator, not only efficiently, but also being the enabler to support the environment of the future generation. So itu adalah the things that we are actually embedding inside here. But how do we do that? Ialah dengan evolution or bringing in more business strategies, how the model is supposed to look like. This is what we did lah. And then here we identify the current risk. Means if let's say this thing is coming, what are the risks that are laid? And then after that, we translate that into opportunities. So this is where the second E comes in, the extend. Then after that, pula the third one, which is the third E, is the explore. So here is where we bring in external experts. So we have our PMO on this. Here is where we identify the new energy paradigm to be consolidated, to be positioned in the end, in distribution network, so that we have the positioning of a stronger and sustainable distribution. So here is where we explore the learnings that are coming from other utilities, whether it is the good learnings or those lessons that they have learned that are similar within our aspirations and the market context, so that we contextualize that into our Malaysia landscape lah. So this is where the 3E comes in, the excel, the extend, and the explore. Okay, so ni macam bagi tips tadi. Right. So then moving from here is the next slide. So okay, we know that in energy transition journey, and also with us reading papers and all these stories and you know, the demand and all that is coming in, we know that there are multiple challenges that are not that need to be embedded. So contoh macam with the increase of RE 31%, so are we supposed to just keep silent, look at it happening, or should we look at what are the potential risks that are coming into our network? So definitely with the increase of RE being part of our network itself, definitely it will create some potential stress on the grid if we do not change. Because we know there is a forecast increase that is coming in, all those things are the things that we need to look into. And then how does that increase will actually affect into our power qualities ataupun due to the volatility of the energy source effect that is coming into distribution network lah. So that is the issues that may rise up. And then with the increase of solar rooftops through the NEM programs and all that, how that is going to create inefficiencies in utilities if we do not take a step. So this and that is also connected to the customers. So if let's say your customers want green energy, so and they want all those touch points that real time or that you know that are easy, seamless. So we must make sure that we give them all those things. But if we don't do those things, so definitely it will lead to unsatisfied customers, right? And then another point that I would say is actually the variable RE integrations that are coming in. So we have been very much focusing on how the core network is, but how these variable REs are going to provide, how are we going to become accessible to provide all these integrations coming in, whether through frameworks or contracts, all those things need to be looked into. So ini adalah basically it is more to how we make the green energy participating into the energy ecosystem lah, right? So with that in mind, here is dengan semua these risks that are being laid down. So this is where we start worrying actually. But some there are possibilities that they say that this is yet to come. So why worry, right? But if you look at that, we have taken not the worrying too much, but not the too far future. We took the middle approach, which is where we lay the current ways of operations. If you see the first phase itself, T+0, where we lay our current phase of operations, then we identify the gaps. We see that, okay, here is where we look into. We say that, okay, most of our processes needs to be changed. Technologies needs to come in. The frameworks needs to come in. So this is where we'll go into the second phase, which is T+1. Tapi before I explain the T+1, we also look at T+2. If you see in T+2, we have the three roles previously was introduced, which was operator of network, facilitator of energy transition, and open market facilitator. Because we knew that once, for once, it was the open market was introduced. But then laying that in mind, and right now it is not towards that yet, or there is not much of direction on that. So we moved into the middle approach. So today we have taken the T+1 per considerations to establish our operational parameters, how the capabilities are going to be, where we put in as enabler of customer empowerment. Means distribution network, your role is also to make sure that we are able to enable the choice of energy, how do you want your energy efficiency to be and all that. So we need to be enabler as part of it. So, but the key word here is that we always keep in mind the T+2 phase. Means whatever that we are building in T+1, we need to make sure that that is the foundation. If that is in the future, the direction comes in for the T+2. So that's for this slide, Adi. Thanks. Next slide, please. Okay, so we knew our our plan, our aspirations, and then we knew our approach, how we looked into, and then after that we knew also, okay, where we want to take, where we set our position before we move into how we set our objectives, what we want to achieve. So then coming into coming after that is actually where we lay our key levers ataupun objectives for both domains. So we know that, okay, from IC25 tadi, we have energy management domain and we have customer management domain. So now what we did was we bring it down, and then after that we say that, okay, each of these domains need to have its goal, its goals. So how we, for energy management domain, we actually emphasizing on target key capabilities of to enable energy integration and facilitate towards energy efficiency kan tadi. So with this, we actually lay three key levers. One is the integrated prosumers. So where we are actually enabling the customer to shift from merely a normal energy consumer, but also give them the opportunity to produce and stock, produce and store their own energy if they would want to participate in that. So itu adalah the access that we are looking into. And then after that, we'll move into the grid resilience pula. This is where kita nak enable the self-healing grid, and then kita nak make sure that our interface with the grid is almost to the near real time, and our infrastructure is ready. Tapi kita also want to keep in mind that with this volatile energy source that is coming in, how we want to make sure that our SID is sustaining or improving. So that is another focus that we look into. And then after that, the third one is actually the DR integration dan aggregation. So here is where kita nak empower TNB, which is distribution network, to be able to monitor DR aggregations, all those initiatives that is required to integrate the renewable resources and decrease, and eventually it will actually decrease the emissions, sector emissions. So and how kita juga nak utilize the DR service aggregation so that we can give more ancillary services kepada our grid operators as well. So just to make sure that the grid is stable, it's balanced, and we are able to operate it like normal. So that's the key focus of this energy management. And then moving to the next slide, Adi. Thank you. All right. So moving to the next slide. Okay, sorry, my net is taking some time. All right. So okay, in the next slide is more on the focus of the customer management. So here we enable customer empowerment. That was our target. And here kita lay down three focus as well. Satu adalah choice of energy. So how we enable our customers to be able to see which source of energy that they would prefer, and this, so that it becomes an empowerment. So nak tahu, okay, whether I want to be sourcing from green or solar that is at the top of my roof, or whether I want it from the a conventional grid. So that's the choice of energy that they can make off. And then after that, also the second one is actually looking at how we offer better supply reliability. So this is where it relates to the energy management just now. So kita nak make sure that our offerings of supply reliability tu intact. So that is memang kita punya focus. So and kita improve lagi dengan being more efficient in outage planning, PQ management. So those things are the things that we need to also look into when this green energy is coming in the network. So then after that is choice of TOU tariffs. So ini adalah where we give the kita menjadi facilitator ataupun the enabler that more incentives will be able to be given to the customers. So dengan and in the future probably demand response comes in the picture and all those kind of things lah. So ini adalah the key focus that we have untuk customer management. And then after that moving dari sini ke next slide Adi. So kita akan tunjuk di video lah. How the experience might look like. Sorry Adi, tak dengar.
Sorry. Okay, again. Dengar ke Komal?
Tak ada.
Wait. Is everyone hear the sound?
No.
Tak juga. Dengar tak dengar juga?
Tak dengar.
Dengar. Sharing first.
For the inconvenience.
Okay.
Give us few seconds.
Share balik.
Malaysia's energy landscape is transitioning rapidly.
Dengar tak dengar juga?
Dengar.
Okay.
Driven by our commitment to a more sustainable future and technologies that are constantly evolving. More than ever before.
Apa dia stop ni?
We are seeing a rise in new energy consumers who are tech-savvy and demanding for cheaper, cleaner energy options. Just like Citi. Citi cares about the earth and is proactive in managing her energy consumption while saving money. As a smart consumer, Citi drives an EV and has electrified her house using renewables. Citi is a prosumer. Not only does she consume energy, she also produces energy through her solar panels. She tracks her monthly energy usage and production through the My TNB app. The app provides her with a daily weather forecast and informs her if there has been a surplus of energy produced from her solar panels. Through the net energy metering, or NEM, Citi is able to sell any excess energy that a household doesn't consume back to the grid. This allows Citi to offset her monthly bill and save money. Imagine what will happen to the grid when there are more cities on a hot sunny day. In line with TNB's aspirations, the distribution network, DN, plays a vital role in keeping the grid balanced in real time, as excess energy is being pumped into the grid. Charging of EVs, unplanned outages, and changes in the weather can cause pressure to the grid. This makes it more challenging for DN operators to balance supply and demand to provide stable electricity distribution. However, by leveraging on data and the latest technology, DN operators are able to make better decisions and manage these fluctuations in a timely manner. Thanks to DN's efforts, prosumers like Siti and even non-prosumers can go about their day-to-day activities without any power interruptions, save money, and use energy efficiently. And the impact goes way beyond that. Lesser dependency on fossil fuels overall means a greener Malaysia and cleaner world for all. This renewable future is closer than you think, made possible through SEMI. John.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Adi. Right. So that was a glimpse on how the experience will look like bila kita masuk ke fasa we are matured enough lah to look into, and also how the experiences that will come from the beginning sampailah ke we have already realized the aspirations that we look into. So itu adalah the glimpse of that. And then now we move into the second part as well. I hope I'm not boring you all with these slides. Tapi the second part is where kita pergi ke how we are strengthening the framework actually. So we explore, we add and improve for future-proof supporting all this national agenda study. So in line with that, kita cuba inlinekan with the other utilities that are in the region. So here is where we look into what we want to do, how we introduce our functional areas ataupun our roles, and then translate that into operating model ataupun how we want to operate, and then how we overlay that into a master plan ataupun a roadmap. So this is where comes in the next slide, Adi, thanks. Yeah, so okay. So before we move into the details, this is apa yang kita lay upon lah. Always laying the foundations are very important. So before we plant into more technologies or digitalization into the ecosystem, it's good to lay these business frameworks that actually will translate the objectives into functional roles and as well as the operating model. Before we can actually translate that into initiative to be carried out to build those digitalization ataupun technology. So this was the step that was taken. We looked into building the market model that identifies our interactions, our responsibilities, our mechanisms of those interactions. And then it was defined on how DN will capture the value, the products, the services, and what are the channels that are required to be defined. Then holding into that, bila that layer dah defined, then after that we went into translating that into operating model. So this is where we already have the operating model, which we call it as business architecture. That is our blueprint of capabilities that are required in the end to run across the process, technology, people, and also the governance portion. So dekat sini, with the new capabilities ataupun with the new functions that are coming in, we have embedded inside our framework as well lah, on the current business architecture. So then further from there, after that, kita bring in the initiatives and the projects that are expected to be realized. Some other new projects ataupun enhancement to actually achieve this business objective. So ini adalah laying how we are actually looking into moving how to realize these objectives lah, right? Then from here kita move kepada the next slide pula, Adi. Yeah, thanks. So here adalah apa kita bagi tahu the functional model, apa role yang we are actually looking at. So apa kita buat, we have these key learnings, the leading practices that are coming from the global leaders. So we need to make sure that there are some functions that we need to build and explore. This is something that definitely will change as time comes, but for now, we lay it in this context where we have 5 functional areas. First one is looking into distribution network. Sini adalah apa yang kita tengok, our role as distribution network operator. So before this, we were very much related to how we manage the conventional grid. We make sure that our efficiency, sustainability, that is in place. Then here dekat sini, kita masih lagi become the grid-related service providers. Tapi how we are managing, controlling the integrations of DERs and how we bring in the governance itself. Even masa sekarang pun kita dah ada that discussions, that changes that are going on how DR integrations, interconnections should happen to the network, and how the governance is supposed to look. So that is one. And then dari segi infrastructure wise, we look at how we want to move from a one-way flow energy to bidirectional flow. So benda-benda tu memang we need to look into lah to achieve this energy transition. Then after that, yang kedua adalah the second role, functional areas, is actually looking at the energy and customer insights foundation. Ini adalah very much related to data. We know, we really know that data is very important. You need to have data in your fingertips so that you can actually do things. So this is where the second functional area comes in very importantly, where kita establish the data governances, those data management. Kita bring in DN to facilitate and operate all this data that are being centralized or dikeluarkan daripada DN lah. So that's when DN boleh menjadi the data service provider untuk ataupun menjadi the a centralized data space to actually manage this atau manage and facilitate on this data lah. So itu adalah the second part, and then the third one is actually value chain services facilitator. So here is where the next products and services may come in. Tetapi di end, buat masa sekarang, we are looking at how we can actually facilitate this. Means we facilitate these products and services to happen from the third-party energy services or from our retail, and how these value-add services may come in. So ini adalah because when you want to masa kita tengah move into this journey of energy transition ni, memang more products, more services akan generated. That is norm, right? So this is where we don't want to become the blockers, tetapi we want to become the facilitators so that we can actually enable these things to happen. All right. Then after that comes from the fourth one, which is the aggregator. So sini adalah where kita nak menjadi the aggregator ataupun coordinator, or I would say more to optimizer of the DR sources that are coming in. So kita actually we want to become the focal point of DR owners ataupun DG that is connecting to distribution network. So this is where the governance, just now when we look into the distribution operator, so this is where the governance takes in place lah. So ini, and then we make sure that the aggregations happen from the customer point sampailah ke our network level. So ini adalah the aggregation role, and then after that the last one yang kita tengok adalah on the flexibility. So how we are looking into operation flexibility hub. So ini adalah the flexibility services that we want to have the management, the procurement, the contracts, all that to happen. And also kita macam similar like the aggregation, we want to make sure that we are able to become the focal point as well for the flexibility services providers. So and these roles are not something that is merely happening from the sky, tapi ini something that memang eventually it is being carried out by the other utilities as well. All right, so then from here, when we lay these 5 functional areas, that's when it comes to a more complex things, which is the next slide, Adi. Yes. All right, So moving to the next slide ni, like what I mentioned just now, kita ada operating model which we call it as business architecture. Tapi with this existing BA, apa yang kita buat adalah we have added on new capabilities that are illustrated from the functional area study. So we will need to actually expand that and put into new capabilities in the operating models. So these capabilities are then future-proofed. They are actually future-proofing the operating model of DN that are required for DN to function as the facilitator of energy transition and the enabler of customer empowerment lah. All right. So then contoh, just one sample of that kan. Bila kita tengok this one memang banyak. This is like so much to do. Tapi we have to start from somewhere. So apa yang kita buat at the beginning stage, probably I can just explain one, is on the Energy and Customer Insights Foundation tadi. So we have data platform, we have energy data services. Energy data services comes as the market goes on. Tapi from the beginning itself, how you start on is actually by you need to have a centralized platform to interact actually, where you can have data exchange happening. Then you bring in new, with this data exchange that is happening, you bring in new data points. Itu adalah the key value that we want to actually bring in. And then after that, once you align all those things and you have your infrastructure ready for that, that's when after you come in with the value of transparency and also automation, where the data exchange happens, and the capabilities of real-time info for certain use cases, and the others could be just a normal data exchange. And then ini adalah di mana we emphasize and say that DN or distribution network is moving towards data-driven and future analytics-driven organization. So this is where we bring in this new capabilities to be packed into our operating model. All right, then kita ada banyak-banyak ni. We have so many of this and so much to do. So how we lay this into a master plan ataupun a roadmap. So here is where the next slide, please, Adi. Yes. So here is where we lay our 5 functional area study too. If you see the DNO, the ENCI ataupun Energy and Customer Insights, and then we have the value chain service, we have aggregation, we have operation flexibility. So this is how we lay down first this 5 functional area study too, and then we map those capabilities yang kita nak develop now until future into this, something that is boleh be implemented for now. Which is something that is how I would say that is consistent now until the future ones that are coming in. So this is where we look into our master plan to deliver in this regulatory period number 3. And these are the foundational, kalau kita nampak the numbers, right? Those that are number 1 until number 9, that are the ones that are our foundation capabilities that we want to deliver and enable. And these capabilities that are foundation, that are the ones that will enable the future functions and capabilities that are coming in the master plan. So contoh, the first one is visibility. So memang the core thing that you need to have is having the RE to be visible and how you want to manage that to happen. So that is the first that we are looking at the point of aggregation. And then after that, we move the second thing that is coming in is actually, if you see the number 2, you will find it's like a quiz, you find that number 2, the RE data services. That is another data services function that we are looking at. So memang developing the foundation of the data is very important. So this is where the number 2 comes in. Then after that, it comes on how we register the contract managements, how it connects to the financial, because we have to, DN also have the interactions with the FITs and all that. Then it moves towards, later on, as it matures, it moves towards optimization, and then it moves into energy trading. It moves into how the aggregations itself happens, and the main ones that we have now and we will be enabling also in a better way in the future is the hosting capacity itself. So ini adalah the sum of the plans that we have, and we lay down into a master plan, which we call it as semi-master plan. So from I think we have talked too much for now. Adi, even I need a break and a coffee. So probably we can have a break first from here. Then we will delve more into how we bring in the demonstrators, right?
Yeah, of course. So with so much info that our speaker share, I think we can take a 5-minute break. So thanks to Miss Komal. And before we take a break, I would like to have some promo lah in here. So for those who are not yet joined as CIRED as a member, you can do that by fill the form, and also do pay the one-time entry fee and also an annual subscription fee as shown. And if you have any inquiries or any question, you can email to our secretariat, mashita61@gmail.com, where when you do join the CIRED membership, you're gonna have benefits such as update with the new technologies and also latest technical knowledge. You also will be aware with the current practice framework to respect to our Malaysia electricity supply industry or MESI 2.0, and also a member from local industry, manufacturer, supplier also well informed on the need and requirement of this MESI 2.0. And so members are encouraged and given a platform to have an open discussion on this issue pertaining to the MESI, especially dialogue between utilities and energy industry. So if you want to join us, so do fill any the form and also pay the entrance fee lah. All right. So let's sorry, before I forget, there are the webinar series in future where there are very interesting topic like crypto mining activity, energy transition program, TNB PQ Task Force Committee. Also, we have IEC 61850 and also the distribution automation. So this webinar is open to all, and please save the date. Then we can see you in the next webinar after this. Right. So we take 5-minute break, and you guys can grab the coffee, and like me, I have Costa. All right. So we see you in the next 5 minutes. Okay.
For more than 5 decades, ACEM's been focused on advancing professionalism and affecting change, because that matters to you as a professional, a consulting engineer. Regulations, status, influence and command. The Association of Consulting Engineers Malaysia, ACEM, has looked out for you through many milestones passed by our nation. Our quest started way back in 1963. Now we're headquartered in Kuala Lumpur with branch offices in Kuching and Kota Kinabalu. Come join us and be counted. Our goal is about empowering, looking into your interests, rights and privileges, availing a platform for your voice to be heard with the government, public bodies and industry associations, as well as extend cooperation with related bodies and stakeholders. When it comes to being a member of the Association of Consulting Engineers Malaysia, ACEM, it's about being involved and keeping abreast with our profession. From a membership spanning sole proprietors and partners of engineering consulting practices, ACEM is the reference point and influencing factor driving matters that affect consulting engineers in our country. With 900 individual members and 470 member firms, representing in excess of 20,000 employees, ACEM has the clout to become a formidable partner to be aligned with. We're heard in over 90 committees and work groups, and that includes ministries and local governments, government agencies, and related associations. ACEM's reach also ensures a voice in regional and international matters as well. Advancement of the consulting engineering profession is the essence of ACEM's existence. Working through standing committees and the Secretariat, ACEM continually provides a platform and paves the way, affecting and courting change. Our track record spans more than 50 years as a sole catalyst, augmenting the role of the consultant engineer. There have been many. The delivery of the Manual Perolehan Perkhidmatan Perunding 2011, which instruments the upward adjustment of government-approved salary scale. It was us. QBS as a government procurement policy. That was us too. Ad valorem stamp duty on construction agreements and BEM ruling on stamp duty. ACEM's insignia was clearly there too. And what about the future? Our relevance was also captured in the Green Building Index, GBI, for Malaysia. We believe in addressing what is needed. At ACEM, we believe that the consulting engineering profession grows in stride with ongoing global developments. We lead the torch in facing hurdles and charting the way towards a more efficient and effective profession. Because with ACEM, not one of our professionals gets left behind. Like a flame that never dies, ACEM is hard at work, overseeing and monitoring the landscape. Quite often, we're prompted to anticipate concerns and initiate engagement, like the implementation of the REA 2015, which allows liberalization of the industry, push for complete liberalization of consulting practice, urge for regulations requiring local participation in FDIs, promoting green initiatives in the built environment for waste reduction, resource conservation, sustainability of ecosystem, and improvement of quality of human life. Safeguarding fair and equitable treatment to all stakeholders involved in the construction industry, and encouraging technology adoption for the efficiency, productivity, and advancement of the construction industry. ACEM, for the betterment of future generations. Your participation is our advancement.
All right. So I hope all of you have taken your coffee times. So without further delay, I invite back our speaker, Ms. Komal, to continue his presentation. Her presentation. Over to you, Ms. Komal.
Thanks, Adi. So, okay, then we move into the next slide, please, Adi. Mine is still taking a break. All right. Okay. Here, in this slide, I hope I'm not making the audience asleep. So here, and I'm sure Adi is going to take a nap after this as this presentation moves on. Okay. So okay, for part 3, let's move into the part 3. That's where we start introducing the demos, which is the pilots being part of the foundation that we want to build. So here we are not only talking about strategies just now when we lay, okay, that's the strategies that we want to look into, but how we make those strategies from the paper into actual implementation. So how we can actually test this. Like what I've been mentioning from the beginning of the discussion just now, laying the foundations are very important. The base is very important. So here is where kita introduce the two platforms that are being part of the demo. There are a lot more actually behind this, but these are the key ones that are ongoing, and will be the key enablers lah. So first one is actually the energy integration platform, which we call it in short is the EIP, and the second one is the energy and customer insights platform. So this is actually part of the functional areas that just now we was looking at as well. And after that, at the end of these slides, nanti I will be also sharing on the additional things that I briefly will show on the people capabilities that is required as well, because technology moves, transformation happens. The most important thing is building your talents. That is another thing that we need to do. Right. So moving to the next slide, please, Adi. Yes. Right. So in a nutshell or a holistic view, this is how we position these two platforms in the ecosystem. Right. So we will have BSS, we have EVs, we have the solar PVs and all that are coming from different levels of the ecosystem. But having that, we see SEMI is actually being in the middle, the enabler to activate, to promote the expansion of green ecosystem, while assuring that DN is able to function as the energy integrator. With these two demonstrators ataupun platforms, we will make sure that we are able to manage this ecosystem. Okay, so here, what is actually EIP is? It's actually an end-to-end platform that we can look into DRs, and then we will be able to deliver whatever energy transition capabilities that just now we have mentioned ke atas. That is from visibility, from management, from hosting capacity. All those things needs to happen at foundational level. Then after that, it matures as and adds on as it moves on. So that's the energy integration platform's function. It's something like an OT platform that we want to manage the DRs. And then after that comes on the second one, which just now I keep mentioning, data is important, right? So this is where energy and customer insights platform comes in the picture. This is a centralized data platform that acts like data as service, that provides data as service, and then to not only internally, tetapi to also the external. So how we actually interact the internal functions to the externals through visualization, virtualization, through analytics capabilities when we implement different types of use cases. So ini adalah the two functions that platforms that we look into. Then moving from there, next one please, Adi. No, before this. Yes. Okay. So moving from there, this is where kita nampak the value to happen lah. So this just now we see how we fit in those platforms in the ecosystem. Now we see how that is going to give value to not only to TNB, but also to Malaysia as an overall and the customers as well. So we have segregated, if you can see the logos of Malaysia, the customer icon, as well as the TNB icons. That's how we have segregated the values. So from the base generation itself, we are, from the overall itself, I would say, we are looking at how we want to achieve the net zero target of 2050. So that's definitely the end game of implementing all these things. And then having or holding intact of our supply reliability focus, we also want to make sure that whatever volatile energy sources that are coming in, we are able to manage those through load balancing and also demand reductions if required, peak demand reductions if required. So those are those things that we look into, and then definitely we want to make sure that there's always the lights are always on. So that's a key. Even at the beginning of the video pun we saw we want to make sure that the lights are always on. So itu adalah the key high level things that we want to look into. But when we move into in actual ataupun in a little bit more detail kan, what do we actually give to the customers? What do we actually give? What are the experiences that we can actually empower? Because we want to give customer empowerment. So satu adalah a seamless interactions processes that we look into. So definitely with this similar connection process, we will be able to improve atau increase our customer satisfaction. And then laying on jobs, because when energy transition comes in, a new industry comes in, definitely different types of green jobs will be available. So that is with new capabilities that we have, right? Yeah, so definitely one of the value that we want to activate is this additional job functions. And then access, that's another key thing that we want to look into, is making sure that we expand our access towards the clean energy, and we reduce, not to say reduce, it is being more efficient in managing the electricity consumption. So that is another thing. And yes, integration, being the energy integrator, that's the main key function. But being proactive in managing the grid management is also another important thing. That is where visibility needs to come in. Management monitoring needs to come in. So proactive grid management from the planners itself, level of planners, whether you do a short-term planning or a long-term planning, that thing needs to be intact. Then we will be able to give proactive grid management. Right, then after that, ada lagi a few more to look into is how we make sure that we are able, or the accessibility of data is very important, because there needs to happen data exchange between third parties, between our retail, between the customers and service providers. All those things will happen in context of data exchange. So that is why this foundation of data platform is very important. All right, and then with that also, actually, when we want to develop smart cities and all that, that's another key focus that they always look into, is how we are able to exchange our data so that they will be able to have the visibility. So that's why I'm saying key is the data is the key lah. Right. Then the last few ones, I would just summarize it saying that, okay, TOU is one. Yes, definitely we are looking into TOU. Right now we have on the commercial side, industrial side. So we will be looking into how it moves into the residential and the others industry side as well. Right, then empowering the customers, that is another thing, so that they have the visibility to actually manage their consumption efficiently. All right. So in overall, holistically, SEMI is actually looking at multiple areas, and we hope it is not, sometimes it's not a direct value, it could be an indirect value, but at the end of the day, we will see it may enable the entire ecosystem. Right, so then moving into these two platforms, focusing on these two platforms, we move into how it is laid in our distribution. So next, please, Adi. Sorry, before this. Yes. So how actually we have laid, why suddenly, you know, these two platforms comes in the picture. So we know that, okay, SU25, Smart Utility 25 Master Plan, just now, we have the 5 domains that we have constructed in distribution network. So when we have those 5 domains, where does actually this 2 platforms or these 2 platforms close the gap? So we have the 5 domains that we are looking into is actually the work management, the asset management, the grid operation, the energy management, and the customer management. So SEMI closes the gap of the energy management as well as the customer management. That is what our focus was. So EIP, which is part of the SEMI project, EIP is actually an OT platform that integrates those multiple solutions that we have and enable the capability of managing, monitoring, looking at the transactions and the hosting capacity. So this is how we fit in the existing solutions that we are looking at, whether it was manually being done or it was already have in solutions in the end. So how we actually integrate all these things and make sure that we are able to give these capabilities or functions to happen. Then when another portion is where we look into ENCI. So here ENCI, it has an L shape here where we look, it's not only looking into the internal functions, but it also becomes an intermediator to connect these multiple data that we have or data sources that we have in distribution. And from the context of use cases, we connect it to the external interfaces, whether it comes from the stakeholders or means it happens a data exchange there, where whether it's towards the stakeholders or retail regulators, third-party connectors. So this is where we see the intermediator lah, where ENCI become the enabler. All right, then moving from there to the next slide, Adi. Okay, my slide is again slow and steady. All right, so here, how we set our master plan. We had just now, we saw our master plan, we see our functional areas, we see how, okay, now we drill down into 2 platforms. So how we actually are going to implement those things in the future. So kita, what we did was, just now we have that 9 capabilities as foundation, okay? So we lay that in our regulatory period number 3. So those capabilities are the one that we want to realize. And how we put that into stages, definitely you have to put the foundation itself, the core platform itself in stage 1. We put into 3 stages, stage 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 are more well-defined. When it goes to the 3rd one, it is very much on depending on the market interactions. So the first is the core platform, where we bring in the visibility, the data services, the connections and the monitoring, as well as the hosting capacity. So here the core thing is bringing the RE visible. Then after that, we move into the 2nd stage, where we look into the contracts that are happening, the aggregation, and then when the market is ready or more matured, that's when we bring in the financial management, the optimization, as well as the energy trading services. So in these 3 stages, we have actually the key functions that is laid here. I will not mention all this, but how it's being rolled out, it is based on geographical. So where we look into where the penetrations or where our prerequisites are sitting, because we have the dependencies to harmonize this existing infrastructure like AMI, the DR penetrations to happen. So benda-benda ni memang we must look into lah. It is not about bringing just something new and you start developing it. We need to harmonize with what enablers, the smart grid enablers that exist in the DN ecosystem. So that is the how we roll out. So that's when we look into Melaka and Selangor as part, one of the first stage. Then we move into rolling out those ones that we have done in stage 1, rolling out in stage 2, making it more matured, and then we roll out, expand geographically. One more thing is in stage 1, we look into solar, and then after that we move into different types of DRs as we move in years in other stages. So this is how we lay our focus on EIP, Energy Integration Platform. Then moving to the next slide to Adi. Okay, similar context goes to ENCI. The approach is the same, where we are looking into another two capabilities, and then further in stage 3 we look into more market capabilities lah. So RE data services, registration, contract management is very important. So that's when we look into, but we need to still have a more detailed focus when we are doing it. It's energy integration is big. Its transition is huge. So you need to have a focus on how you want to build that thing. So this is where we bring in use cases, because ENCI is very much data related. So that's why we bring in, we segregate that into use cases lah. So untuk stage 1, we look into new supply connection. As we move into stage 2, we mature in new supply connection and bring in additional use cases on outage management. So that's how, and then geographically, how do we look into the space is, because right now, DN is also embarking into Smart Utility KL, where we implement our smart utility experiences that we have in SU25 Master Plan into a capital city that is able to give all these experiences. Yeah. So that is why part of this project is also focusing in KL. Then as we move into next stages, it rollouts into other places as well. So itu adalah, but the key dependencies here is actually the data availability. So you need to make sure that your data is available, the quality is checked, your tech is ready, your process is stable, so that we can define the use cases more strongly. So that's how we are making sure right now, before we do the implementation, that these data sources are intact. Yeah, so that's how we are implementing these two platforms. And then okay, this is how we bring in technology, how we look behind the process is going to change, how the data or more data is being required. But how do we build the capabilities of people? So because as well as you bring in the tech, you bring in digitalization and all this transformation, people needs to be able to capture these things in line with implementation. Because if it doesn't, then it gives not much value, or you may have more problems coming in the future. So from here, going to the next slide, please, Adi. Yeah. So when we move to here, so we are saying that although we are focusing on process, people, data, and all those things, but then we are also focusing on future capabilities that is required to be instilled in the organization structure, whether the structure needs to be changed or future roles need to be embedded into the current structure. That's the things that we also look into lah. So what step that we also did is actually assigning those capabilities to the defined owners, so that they can actually build them while developing these frameworks and the infrastructure. So it's like learning, which is our key focus today, learn and build, right? So in fact, to ensure that this program is actually successful, we also established this special project teams that will be able to not only develop or implement the infrastructure, but then they also skill themselves to bring in to later on become the BAUs and further develop the energy transition SMEs lah. So that's how we look into. And then another point here that I would want to emphasize is, with the increase of this energy increase of responsibility as energy integrator, there is also further chances of a need to have a particular unit or department that are looking into this, because right now the penetration is not so high, but in the future you may need to really look into this new skills and departments that really look into this. But yes, I'm sure that we know that TNB has those certain departments at the corporate level, right? Then moving to our last slide, if I'm not mistaken, almost to the last slide. Thank you. Right. So when we move into the next one, how do we have so many, just now we have seen, okay, many capabilities as well. How do we bring that into approach or journey? So as we look into this, our current start is by definition of the semi-program itself, which is where we are today lah. We start off the semi-program, we identify the operating models, the capability model, the business capabilities for both domains. And then after that, we move into the development phase, which is the immediate phase. This is where just now when I mentioned the special project team, they come in place. They are like the army to build the energy transition. So they come in parallel to develop themselves as SMEs as well as new capabilities. And this enhancement that we are having, it is not only merely accountable on the SPT, but it is both driven by the special project teams as well as the business owners. Because like what I've shown just now, new capabilities are not only parked under this these new functions, but you will need to change the processes and everything under the current BAU as well. So in long term, when we look into the long term phase, there will be continuous development. So cost energy transition is not a one-off task, it's a journey. So therefore, there is a need to have a transition happening to develop into either BAU ataupun or a new department like what just now I mentioned. So that is when in the future we will see how the future capabilities are mapped into this organization structure. So then from here, when we have looked into the people, now the last slide says that how I would want to end this presentation. So SEMI is actually a part of energy. It's not the whole energy transition that we have in DN. DN has lots of the things that we are looking into for energy transition, but this is actually a part of the function, and it's actually a journey, not merely a project to be implemented. So it's a journey that we want to move on, and so there might be a lot of changes that is going to happen as we move along this journey. And there is a need for new capabilities, roles, responsibilities, as well as that we need to manage this new energy ecosystem lah. So then it's also a journey with inconsistencies and dependencies that we need to look into. So we need to take this journey as opportunity to build a dynamic way of working. So that we are able to cater the customer needs lah in the future. So then, with my final words, let's embrace this energy transition as something a must to do, so that we can someday be proud of being an enabler to this, being part of it. So it gives us the feelings of together helping the world to become a better place for tomorrow's generation. Thank you. Thank you, Adi.
Right. There's a very informative presentation by Ms. Komal, and I hope all of us can get the info regarding this energy transition, how DN distribution network react to this energy transition via smart energy management infrastructure or SEMI. All right, so without further delay, also we're gonna have a question and answer session. I'm gonna read the question that have been given in the Q&A tools. All right, the first question, Ms. Komal. Is BSS intend to be charged from RE or grid supply, which is predominantly from fossil fuel in Malaysia? This question actually come from our Mr. Lalchan Gulabrai. he also mentioned that he is the TNB, LLN, also CEB retired.
Oh, okay. That's CEB retired. Even my grandfather is from CEB, but yes, I think we are in the same pace, I guess. Right. So thank you for the question. It's a good question. I would answer this from the point of distribution network lah, right? So at the point of distribution network, I will not say this is something that is certain for now, but what we are looking at is actually from the RE side. We are trying to connect this battery storage at the RE to look into to make sure that our supply is reliable, because looking at the volatile energy source of PV. So that's one thing that we are looking at, as well as how we can peak shave. So for now, at distribution per level, we are looking at this RE side as well lah. But from TNB, yes, there might be also looking at these from grid side. Probably they also might be looking into whether it is at RE side or at the grid supply side as well. Yep.
Okay. Another question from Mr. Lalachan. He mentioned that does TNB propose to offer TOU tariff for residential and LV CNI customer? If yes, when? Ms. Koma.
Okay, the when is it's a complicated answer, but like what I've shown, right? Laying down the foundation of having data exchange, having energy efficiency coming in. That's when after that it brings into the move of having demand response, TOU. Those functions will definitely be introduced to the customers. Which level of customers? Industrial, yes, we have right now. That's what our AMI functions are currently doing, are offering. But yes, future, definitely we will be also looking into bringing it to the customers, CNI customers, as well as the residential customers lah. But when is I won't say it's a question mark, but as we mature, that's when we will be definitely identifying that. Hopefully, I would say hopefully soon. We have tested that on the industrial. Let's see if that works on the residential side as well.
All right. Hopefully, we get the also direction from our government, right? So another question from Mr. Lim Tai Eng. The questions: solar panels has got service life between 10 to 20 years. The disposal of the solar panel may be a problem for the future generations. So do you have any comment on that, Ms. Koman?
Waste management, that's the key. Every industry that okay, my comment, every industry that comes in, when there is transformation, new products will come in, and whether that products are able to be recycled or not, those things are always the key questions, right? Because when you want to make sure that a product is good, definitely it has multiple combination of chemicals or you know the content for them to build that good product. So like I recently saw by the World Economic Forum, right? They actually showed on the wind turbines. The wind turbines, they are very lightweighted, but they are made of strongly condensed materials. So when we look into that itself, how do you want to recycle when they are not functioning properly, right? That's where the waste management comes in. So what in the future, or I saw how other some countries are taking the opportunities. They are making the wind turbines at the to be part of the rooftop of a bicycle punya parking space.
Oh, okay.
So they make that into those kind of functions. So it's one is waste management, that is one, but I foresee with all these new new products that are coming in, people become very much creative on what we can use them into. Definitely, with us moving towards environment, definitely the waste management is something that we need to look into.
Yep.
But I would say that we can make things into creative ideas on how to use this.
Yes, agree with you. Might be after this in future, the material that we use for this solar also kita boleh recycle balik lah kan. So okay, one last question, Miss Koman. From Miss Maggie Neo, how can we apply to become one of the approved or shortlisted TNB system integrator for RE? That is the bonus question for you.
My gosh, Adi, you didn't inform me this. Sorry, which question is that?
From
Let me
Miss
just-
Maggie Neo. How can we apply to become one of the approved or shortlisted TNB system integrator for RE?
How we can apply to be one of the system integrator for RE? Oh, for now, kan? Okay, I am not the person to say this. Mainly, you have to look into how you apply that with SEDA and this one. But from the end's perspective, if you want to integrate into the end's network, the key or the process needs to be followed for now, because we are still building it. Like what I said just now, it is a journey, right? This connection process is a journey. So if I'm understanding it correct, we are looking at the connection process. So for now, yes, SEDA is the space to look into how we want to apply. But from the TNB's perspective, if you want the fastest way of doing it, yes, there is no fast way, definitely. I will not give any marketing skills here. But I would say that knowing our guidelines, how our interconnection guidelines is, that is something that is very important. So know the guidelines and you will be able to be one of it. So
all right. So by means all the mana-mana yang nak connect to us, they should follow whatever guideline or also process that yang ada dalam TNB lah kan. Alright.
Selalunya tak ada bypass lah.
Yep, because we got the time limit here. So I think for the rest of the question, Miss Komal gonna answer it and come back to you lah after this. Alright.
Alright, thank you.
So thanks Miss Komal on the answer for the question that from the participant. Alright, next. Before we go for the quiz, I hope Miss Komal will apa nama ni, tunaikan dia punya janji lah, keep her promise, akan bagi some token of appreciation for the quizzes. Before that, we need the participant to participate in our post survey so that we can do some more improvement onward, so that our participant will get more benefit from this webinar. Alright, please do join me in the Slido. You can scan or you can type in the Google and search for Slido and key in the hashtag SEMI and also the passcode TNB123. Alright. Right now we got 5 participants participate in this Slido. I hope at least half of us join me. Okay, we got 174 participants, at least 50. And okay, in terms of timeline of this webinar, what do you guys think? Is it too short or too long or adequate time? Cukup lah. Okay. Right. This response gonna be, we hide the response so that our speaker tak terasa lah. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, next. the presentation by the panel, what do you guys think? Is it effective and easy to understand? Strongly agree, neutral, disagree, or strongly disagree?
Can I evaluate as well?
No, thanks. You just keep quiet there.
Okay.
Right, the number keeps coming in. Okay, great. Okay, next. In terms of content, do you guys understand the content of this webinar? Right. Okay, great. We got 42 coming up, 47, 52. Hope this 57 participant will strongly agree lah in terms of the content. All right. I'm the next survey is I'm interested to participating in the upcoming series of webinar organized by TNB and also CIRED and also ACEM. As I showed earlier, we got another 5 webinar in future. All right, great. Okay, guys, this is a quiz time. All right, so this quiz actually is not only cater for the correct question only, correct answer only, but it will be also who the fastest lah. All right, so let's see. Okay, let's join the quiz. Please do join me in the same slido.com #SEMI. Okay, please give your name. Okay, great. We are very honored because I think this webinar will be joined the participant from Thailand. Right. Okay, great. 32%. Okay, I give you around another 30 seconds. All right, great. Also, we have our protege here, Mr. Panupong Kongros. I believe you are from Thailand, right? Okay, another 10 seconds. Great. Okay, we got at least 62 participants here. Okay, let's make sure your Wi-Fi connection, your cellular bill are already paid because this quiz is not only determine who are the correct answer and it's also cater or who is the fastest one lah. All right, let's go. 65 participants. Okay, the first question sounds like, what are the distribution network roles that SEMI enables? Operator of network, facilitator of energy transition, enabler of customer empowerment, or all above? You got 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the answer is yes, correct. The answer is all above. All right. Actually, SEMI will be enable all 3 distribution network roles. Let's become to be operator of network, facilitator of energy transition, and also enabler of customer empowerment. So let's see who is our leaderboard in the leaderboard. So we have KZ, number 1. He or she only take 5 seconds to answer, followed by Achibalan A Chanong. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm pronounce it wrongly. And also coming in with Camilla and also Maggie and Mr. Teo, I guess. All right, next question. What does SEMI stand for? Smart Ecosystem Management Infrastructure, Smart Energy Management Infrastructure, Smart Energy Market Infrastructure, or Smart Energy Management Integration? Right, make sure you answer it carefully. Oh, okay, great. We got 70% answered it smart energy management infrastructure, 5% in smart ecosystem. Another, oh, right, 22% answered smart energy management integration. The answer is smart energy management infrastructure semi. It is not a football match, semi or final. It's a semi, right?
Full.
Okay, still our KZ is still in the leader, being I think we got a newcomer, Rushdi, and also Mr. JJ or Miss JJ, followed by Nurul J and also Mr. Nabil. Okay, next question. What are the 3 E energy transition equation approach used to explore the SEMI program? Excel, expand, explore, access, expand, explore, excel, extend, explore, or excel, energy, explore. Oh, this is gonna be a quite tricky question or answer. We got excel, expand, explore, 36% answer it, and also excel, extend, explore, 34%. Okay, the answer is excel, extend, and explore. We gonna have a new okay, we don't have any dashboard here. All right, next. What are the key levels semi-enabling? Source of energy, you can choose more. Okay, great. Okay, the answer is all above. Can we see the leaderboard here? So we got KZ still in front, followed by Mr. Rushdi and also JJ. Okay, great. What happened to Miss Maggie and Mr. Teo? Okay, next, last question. What are the 5 functional areas that distribution network is exploring to enable the role of energy transition facilitator, customer empowerment? Choose from the list. You can choose more here. If you remember the stack. Ah, great. Okay, let's see the answer. Yeah, we got 5. Distribution network operator, aggregator, operational flexibility, energy customer insight foundation, and also a value chain service facilitator. If you remember the 5 picture. Okay, next we gonna see who is our top 3 winner. Okay, congrats to our KZ. I hope he or she is not our TNB. Must be a outsider. Okay, followed by Miss or Mr. JJ and also our Mr. Rushdi. Please do contact